technology continues to revolutionize businesses across various industries, the adoption of automation in enterprises, particularly small and medium enterprises, is becoming essential. This shift towards automation is creating a more level playing field for organizations of all sizes. In the years to come, it is expected that businesses effectively utilizing enterprise resource planning software will set themselves apart from their competitors. According to a report by industry body FICCI, 60% of SMEs use digital technology for human resources, 51% for sales and marketing, and 48% for finance. The report indicates that ERP and CRM are among the top digital tools used by SMEs. To delve more into ERP and how it can alter the SME ecosystem, we have with us Sunil Jain, President and Executive Director, Raju Engineers Limited, Biren Parekh, CIO, Company Limited, and Vishal Raj Saini, Country Head, India and Indian Subcontinent, Epicor Software. Welcome everyone and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you for the intro.
Thank you. Vishal, I want to first start this discussion with you, and I want to, delve a bit about the role of ERP in SMEs. So, from your experience at Epicor, how have you seen ERP systems transforming MSMEs in India? And can you share specific success stories where Epicor has made a significant impact?
Sure. No, I mean, when you were talking about the statistics, they are really something which is realistic. In our experience, adoption of ERP has been instrumental in driving growth, efficiency, competitiveness in the business. So there's no doubt about this. One thing I've seen is most of the SME, when they take a decision to deploy in technology like ERP specifically, right? They most of the time have a short-term vision, like they want to solve their current complexities or current problems. So personally, that's what we've been advocating, that ERP is a long-term investment, right? You have to foresee the challenges, the growth path you're gonna endorse as you grow for next 5 years, and keep that vision in mind when you take a solution today. That's one thing we always explain to our customers or prospects. So it's a long-term investment, specifically ERP. Coming back to Epicor and what we have done, we are not trying to be everything for everybody, right? If you know history of Epicor, from last 50 years, we've been trying to master 9 verticals of industries, right? So they are all discrete manufacturing, industrial manufacturing, plastic and rubbers, for example, right? And we're trying to give last mile functionalities to our customers in these domains, and we've been doing it investing in these domains from last 50 years, right? So if you look at that, customers we have in India, they are companies which are very small, and they're companies which are mid to large enterprise as well. So for example, I have one in West, our customers called Mahansaria Enterprise. They are into tire manufacturing. They have various plants now, but when they started using Epicor, they were about 200 crore company. Today they are touching almost 3,000 crore, right? It's a private company. Then we have a very unique case called AC Brothers, a company out of Moradabad, making brass products. Why I'm taking their name specifically is because I've been into ERP business from last 20 years, and I'm not SME implementing an application or digitalization done across their all divisions using an ERP, using MRP. You talk about from the application standpoint of view, they have automated everything and used everything. So interestingly, that it's a complete transformation. When we say digital transformation, it's a unique case study in itself. So we have mix of all worlds, small, large, medium companies using Epicor in India, and specifically SME. Yes, as I said, it's important to have an ERP today.
It's actually very interesting what you said about the Moradabad example and how they've used it, as far as the brass industry is concerned, and one would technically not associate that sector with ERP, usage. So, and you are saying it has been quite successful for them as well, right? To use it.
Yeah, it's a unique case. I mean, if you go see, obviously the owner had a vision that they want technology to be there, and they wanted technology to be a driver for them for their
Hmm.
business. And that is also very important aspects when you implement technology. It's not an IT product anymore. It's a
Yeah.
business investment. And if business owners are investing themselves their time, then you will see some beautiful case studies across.
Yeah, and also in sectors where you may not actually associate it with technology, like Muradabad brass industry, which is famous for its brass sector, and which always has a competition with China as well in that
And they're
domain.
true SME, by the way, true SME. When we say SME, right,
Yes,
they are
yeah,
that's SME.
exactly, exactly. No, no, very. That's really interesting. And on that note, I want to come a bit I want to come to Biren and talk a bit about the budgets. Because when we talk about implementation of ERP, and we were just talking about the brass sector. In as an MSME, budget is always a main aspect when you think about implementation. So what strategies have you employed to implement these systems within budget constraints? And also, tell us a little bit from an MSME point of view, how can they really streamline this aspect when it comes to when it comes to ERP implementation?
So thank you. It's a very good question because everyone have a what you call a chase for the budget and then the ROI also. That's the main point for ERP as well. The company and organization and management also. That is the first point. So budget. Every company have allocated a budget, but then to select a good ERP and it's catered to objective of the company's requirement to fit ERP selection and right fit the ERP solution. It's a very challenging point for all of us. So when we select ERP, so we have a plan and then they define a clear objective altogether. So whether it's a fit for in this organization or not. So why I'm saying this because many a time so management is requirement is a and then the project fit or the implementation will be my a minus one or a plus one that will be so that is my point is we have to a clear cut engagement with all the key stakeholder. I mean, right from the project sponsor to a key user and then the business owner also. They have to be very much what we call they have to be very clear on their role and responsibility to have this product. So if the product don't have the functionality, exact functionality, they don't have to go for further than. Otherwise, it's a garbage in, garbage out kind of a situation. So budget, we will not be having a ROI. That is a problem. So and we have to have a very comprehensive implementation plan. I mean, very tight, what we call milestone based targets also to be have there. So at least and every interval we have to be what we call every regular review with the team stakeholder and then the project sponsor also so uh, this is the main strategy what we are using for the implementation within the budget constraint and in my past experience also. So my all the projects, I mean ERP as well as CRM, what you mentioned, that will be within the budget and we have very in a good shape. Thank you.
But for an MSME, of course, I think that is the main resistance aspect when it comes to implementation. So, could you tell us from a generic sense as well, how can they work around this aspect?
So that is what my main point again I am saying. So if your plan is very clear, your requirement is very clear, we have to align all this plan with the requirement and implementation proper with this agreed timeline and all that. If you are miss your timeline and all that, naturally your budget will also exceed and all that, right? So that is a point. And if your user, if they are not agreeing what exactly implemented in these systems. I mean, I am saying my all the past experience, all the manufacturing unit and all that. If they are not what we call agree with this timeline and all that, definitely we are increasing our budget and we are not able to have this. That is a point. And
Okay.
suppose many a time our we are a manufacturing company experience, right? So a user will not accept without any report. They are not moving ahead. But then as a CIO and all that, so we have to just train the user. First you implement your system, first you do your transaction as per the expectation and as per the laws and all that. So report will be later, we can create anytime. So then user is very happily they are agreeing on this and they are targeting with the budget timeline and all that. So that's why we are covering our budget and all that. So that's
Okay. So timeline is an important factor to
yes,
keep in mind, and so that one doesn't overshoot the expenses.
yeah.
Uh, okay. All right. And I want to now come to Mr. Jain, and I want to ask a bit about. We have spoken about budget. I want to speak a bit about the training aspect, training and change management. And you have a number of products at Raju Engineers, the kind of manufacturing that is done there. So, how essential was a robust training and change management strategy? Uh, how essential was it during your ERP implementation?
Thank you and good morning once again. I think just one sentence, two sentences about what we are doing. I think that will put things in the perspective.
Sure.
We are a
Yes.
company which are making, who are making plastic processing machines, one of the leaders in the country. And
Hmm.
also we have sister companies where we do processing of plastics. When we talk about change management, I like what Vishal said about owner's vision. I think that is most important. ROI and all those things can come in later, but the owner's vision is very important. How, I mean, from a long-term point of view, what are they trying to view? And from
Hmm.
our experience, Vishal, just for your information, we started our journey looking at an ERP 20 years back. So you can understand the morale of the people in the organization,
True.
the negative impressions which people had. So
Yeah.
yes, there's an owner's vision. So it has to be a decision which is not, you don't involve too many people. Otherwise, you get too many cooks trying to contribute to it. So the decision has to be coming from the top, but the implementation has to be from the ground.
Yeah.
And the failed attempts have to be taken from a positive perspective. That these are the people who failed. They know exactly why they failed. So these are the people who will bring the whole thing into a successful implementation. So change management from that perspective, yes, especially people who worked in your company for 20 years or 25 years, they have certain systems, they have certain note-making habits, they have certain bypassing habits. So change, bringing them to a change situation is not easy. It's not impossible. But yes, at the top level, the vision has to be very, very clear. And in fact, when we took the decision, then the decision was taken by the board after studying everything. And that was a time when we were not really looking at what will be the ROI, but we were looking at from a, as Vishal also mentioned, from a long-term perspective. Number one. You also need to realize that you cannot survive without it. I mean, we are making customized machines on one hand, then on in our sister company, SN Specialities, we are one of the largest suppliers to IKEA worldwide. That's plastic processing. So once we implemented it in Raju Engineers, in fact, we were the first company in Gujarat, and that gave us a lot of confidence. And I have no hesitation in saying that. And then our competitors started approaching us, and we helped them in implementing. Why not? I mean, if the industry, because we as Raju Engineers are also members of Plastic Processing Machine Manufacturers of India. It's an organization, umbrella organization for all machine manufacturers. We share practices with each other. So if we have been successful somewhere, why shouldn't the industry take advantage of it and then help in the growth of the industry and the country? And training, yes, training becomes a very important factor once you've decided. We decided not to train everyone in one shot. We started off with design, because that's where, I mean, in a machinery business, that's where everything really starts from. So we trained the design people. Then in another module, we trained other people. The finance people were the last, because finance people have less to do. They just need to integrate or fall into the system. So it's been a process, and the failures should not deter one. But yes, it's very important to come up with the right product which is apt for your organization. So I think that summarizes what I've been talking about.
Right, and I think you've been pretty resilient after the seven failed attempts, as you said. But I'm curious to know that what was the change, what was the turning point, what clicked after the seventh attempt? How did you kind of figure out the right way?
Okay, it might slightly overlap with what other questions you may have. In the MSME segment, everyone thinks कि जो मैं कर रहा हूँ वही ठीक. That is the biggest thing. And then
Yes.
when you talk about the turning point, the realization came that whatever is the best in the world, whatever are the best practices which we are following, let us adapt to those practices instead of saying we want this. So once that realization came in, I think that was a turning point कि जो सब लोग कर रहे हैं, जो established है, there are big companies who are using it. Let us close our mind and try to follow what they are doing and change ourselves instead of trying to customize. And in all the previous editions which we tried to adopt, there were a lot of things which we were demanding, which was more based on the way we've been running business. So once you accept that there are people who are better than you, people who are more successful than you, people who have better practices than you are following, once that realization comes in, I think that is the turning point.
Wonderful. That's great to know about you bringing in change in yourself and that reflecting in your efficiencies and operations as well. Vishal, I want to come to you and ask you about we've heard Mr. Jain and how things really rolled out in terms of the different approach that they took. How do you ensure that the ERP solutions are scalable and customizable to meet the unique needs of SMEs in India?
See, when you say customization and scalability, there are two different aspects from a decision-making point of view as well. So, first thing is that Epicor is only focusing on 9 verticals, as I highlighted. Right, we don't go anywhere else. So when we spend 90 or 50 years of R&D in mastering those verticals, a lot of things comes out of box. So we try to reduce that customization piece itself, right, from the functionality point of view. As Sunil highlighted that, more we adopt to the standard processes which globally are being used and practiced, better for any organization, right? Obviously, there can be 10-15% of uniqueness which any company follows, which makes them competitive, right? That is where the customization comes in. But 80-85% of the product is standard. And, wherever we go, specifically in our prospect or customer base, and if we find that we are not fitting 75% of the business, we walk out of that deal, right? So there's no point of trying to sell something or deploy something which will not be successful, right? That's what Epicor follows. So we are very clear where we go. Our industries are highlighted, lesser customization because of that. It does not mean that you cannot customize the application. That the product itself has a lot of tools to modify and all. Obviously, it's discouraged because the essence of the ERP is lost, and then you have failures like Mr. Sunil highlighted, right? They may not be a fault of a product per se. A standard product may fit, but it's about the journey, right? How you deploy it. Second part is scalability. So for us, we have customers with 10 users. We have customers with 10,000 users using the same application, right? So it's scalable. There could be one plant, there could be 100 plants using the same product, same instance. So the product is configurable enough. It can mold as per customer business. As they grow, the system can grow with them. That's the philosophy which Epicor has. For example, today, in a small company, there could be one person creating a request, creating a purchase order and also approving it. Could be a case. But as you grow, the complexity increase. You will have more checker, maker kind of process. The system should be easy to configure and adopt to those changes. Another example could be process. Today you are a make to order kind of scenario, or you are make to stock. And as you grow, you may get into engineering to order scenario, which I believe Raju is, for example, is in, right? So the application when you select should be able to adopt to mixed mode manufacturing. One order could be a to order, another job could be engineer to order. Those kind of complexities the system should be able to manage. That's what I feel specifically in a manufacturing scenario. May or may not be the requirement of an SME company today, but as they grow, they will have those complexities coming in the business, and that's how we take care of configurations and scalability, so to call, in Epico.
Yes.
Neha, if I may just add,
Yes.
if,
Yes,
just
sure.
two things I'd like to add to based on what Vishal mentioned.
Hmm.
I mean, we are talking about ERP here, but we have to look at all kind of software solutions. As he rightly mentioned, you cannot be a master of all verticals. For example, there is the CRM solution. I mean, we started using Salesforce in 2011. One of the first companies, small companies, to start using Salesforce. Now today is a big name. We are
Yeah.
implementing Zoho CRM in a different company after having learned from Salesforce. So one needs should be open when you are looking at new solutions. Important thing is that they should be integrable. There should be integrators with your current systems. So I think many a times you have to look at it, not many a times, all the time you should look at it from a long-term perspective, because businesses are here to stay. And especially when we talk about MSMEs, where most of them are family managed. I mean, the owner wants to see that even if his second generation is not coming into the business, we are fortunate that we have a second generation. Even if they are not coming into the business persists. Because once you grow, you'll be able to employ professionals, and professionals like to work in a organized environment. So it works both ways, whether you have a second generation or you do not have the next generation coming in. So again, it boils down to the owner's vision, as Vishal rightly mentioned. Please carry on.
Right. So basically, obviously, not one size does not fit all approach, and there are so many MSMEs. They have such unique and diverse needs. I think the systems have to be deployed as per that unique SME that is being spoken about. Right, Vishal? If and that's how you have also implemented it at Epicor, as you were mentioning.
Yeah, I think this has changed. Earlier, we used to have a vanilla ERP, and then everybody's trying to customize and make it their own. That was a trend. I think about 15 years back, that's how it used to be. Then slowly and steadily, people, even OEMs, realize that they cannot be everything for everybody, right? And specifically, Epicor, we're very focused in what we do, and we only do applications, right? And we only focus on those 9 verticals, and we deploy wherever we deploy perfectly. That's the philosophy we have. So as we went ahead in the ERP transformation, also customers also started realizing they don't want a standard application. They want a best of breed application. Earlier, everything was to be done through the same application, but now the trend is that use what is best for that. So CRM X is best. I don't want to use the ERP. I'll integrate with that product because that meets my requirement better. Say HCM, HR and payroll, this application is better for my industry. Let me take that and integrate with my ERP. So integration becomes a very critical aspect. And SME sometimes realize this because as they grow, they will have multiple applications and they have to manage. There's no way around it. If they do customize same platform or a product, there are a lot of challenges in that. And I think a lot of companies have understood that from hard way, but now things have changed.
Hmm. Okay, okay, that's good to know. I mean, change is coming in, and I think that is going to impact the MSME sector in a positive way. Uh, Viren, I want to ask you now about measuring the success and ROI of your ERP implementations. What are the key metrics do you track that you track to ensure you're getting value from the system?
Okay, so success is what? It's not a tangible, right? So ROI is also not a tangible. That is the first point. So the main point now. So if we reduction get a reduction in a cost, that is a success. Revenue growth is a success, and customer satisfaction and increase efficiency, that is a success. So in my past experience as well the current experience also, so after implementation of a ERP successfully, we measure like you can close your books every month regularly, that is a, your all open items like a PO or SO, I mean a purchase order and a close order, and then the production entries. We are closing within a time, within a 31st or 30 last day of the month. That is a success. Whether it's a part of a training for the employee or anything, that is a success. That is the first. Now revenue growth. So as you close all your books regularly with the right implementation of a ERP, that's naturally will increase your revenue and all that. Now come to the customer satisfaction and all that. If your customer, I mean a client is your vendor, your customer and your employee, all are happy with your implementation, that is a satisfaction. That is also called a success. If your vendor is getting your their regular payments for their services, for their material, that is a success. Your customer is paying you on a right time and all that, that is a success, because they are getting information what they need it at the right moment, that is a success, right? This is all. Now if we talk about the employee also, so initially before implementation of a ERP, suppose employee are sitting late for their or manual entry doing and closing of books and all, so they are not satisfied, they were not satisfied, but then the right implementation, they are happily close their activity, day-to-day activity and all that, that is a point. Now this prior to implementation of a ERP, so onboarding a customer, onboarding an employee as well the customer or vendor, it was taking around 3 or 4 days, because as all the manual document will come to a concerned department, they verify it, they upload it in the system and all that. Now, due to this ERP implementation and then the other surrounding system, that API based implementation and all that. So now, within a 30 minutes, we are onboarding everything. I mean, a customer, the new employee, vendor, and everything. So that is a success. What I mean is, and measuring a success again. So order to cash, I mean sales, order booking to a display to a packing, and then the invoice. That is within a time. I mean within a 2 days you are closing everything. That is a success. What I feel is. Thank you.
Okay, so different ways to measure success, as you
Yes.
said, and of course, customer satisfaction also is a key metric, as you mentioned. Um, Mr.
I
Jain,
want to add here. See,
yes.
return of investments. Everybody talk about it, right? I've seen return of innovation is also very important, right?
Yes.
Hmm, hmm,
I've seen customers. There has to be an intent. I have customers who, they have an intent to improve a particular process. They will go. You don't need to invest a lot to make that process automate, right? For example, I have a customer called Taikisha Engineering. They're an engineering project-based company. They make paint
hmm,
shop. So in their warehouse, they found that deploying an ERP was tough because of the education level of the person, right? So they gave them a mobile device and
hmm,
they use barcode. So when they go to a warehouse store, they used to just scan the barcode, and a simple light bulb will be on onto that particular rack where they have to pick the stuff from. So that integration with the bulb and the product really innovated the entire process for them, speeded up The training part is taken care of. It's a very small thing, right? It's nothing to do with ERP, but all the investments were only into that technology of QR code, which is very, it's very
Yeah.
commonly available. So the intent has to be there, and I'm sure budgets is may not be the challenge if that innovation comes in. Returns are given, right? Just wanted to add that
Yeah, I
small
mean,
piece.
of course, yeah, no, that's really interesting. I mean, the return on innovation, as you said, and the intent, which can kind of show the way forward, even if there are other constraints at play, be it in terms of expense or in terms of strategy. It could be anything. So yeah, thanks for that additional point, Vishal. Mr. Jain, I want to delve a bit about the customization challenges, and hence I want to ask you about what specific challenges did you encounter in tailoring a commercial off-the-shelf ERP solution to align with Raju Engineers' business process. Uh, how did you address these challenges? If you could tell us more about it.
I think the first thing was to accept that many people, what they are doing is they know what they are doing. I think that is the first acceptance which needs to come in. When that comes in, then you start changing yourself. That, okay, we were doing it in this particular fashion. No, that was not right. We have to do it in this particular fashion. So I think that customization, once you are clear with that, as Vishal also mentioned, there is always an element of 10-15% of customization. I remember when we implemented Salesforce in 2011, they were also very new, but we had all our systems on an Excel sheet, and they were able to translate that into their backend software programming. So I'm sure all these ERP or all these solutions which are coming up, they are flexible, but then there's more flexibility required at your end, and you have to do away with all your dogmas and the habit. In we are machinery manufacturers, and someone would land up on the floor and say, ki, "Oh, this is not good. You change it." Fine, you do it. That still continues, but then you report it. I mean, that's the kind of mindset which needs to be brought in. And other big advantage which we found was that we make customized machines. And earlier the system was that if we have made machine for someone or a particular customer, if the other person comes up with a similar requirement, we would go mad. But with ERP now today, we are able to say, "Oh, come on, 96% it matches. There's only 4% which you have to tweak around with." So all of a sudden you find that the machine is customized, but still it is replaceable. You can give it to another customer. So that mindset was not there earlier. So as a result, we would land up either increasing our inventory, and today we are able to use that inventory. Earlier, the system was that when you someone is planning, anything new comes in, with close eyes, he will say, "Order this." But now what he will do is he will see, have we done this elsewhere? Have we made this similar machine somewhere? Do we have it lying with our stock? So that kind of reports are being generated now. You have all the information which was not available earlier. So that the first thing about customization is first accept that someone must be doing it right. I think that is the first acceptance which needs to come in. When you find any software solution having success stories, you talk to them. To what extent did you were they able to meet your requirements? And also we need to understand all these companies over a period of time, they have also customized. They have also changed. If they are in a particular vertical, they have also understood the nuances of that vertical, and they have also made internal changes, and they are constantly progressing. So you select a right partner, you be in touch and keep abreast with what all they are doing, and keep accepting those changes.
So, as you said, probably, I mean, there is more awareness and also accepting that if customization is happening, someone has done it right, as you said. And you, I mean, at Raju Engineers, is this how you also had approached the problems, the challenges which were there at play in your business process? This was the main approach.
Yeah, after you failed 7, 8 times, you don't have a choice. That
Right.
that acceptance that someone must be doing it right,
Hmm. Hmm.
and convincing other people that come on, let's open up our mind. This person is doing it this way, and this is
Hmm.
better, and it will be more suitable for your own process.
So I think that
That
openness
is
was there to kind of
that
take that
openness, and
on.
that is the internal. I think that is the internal selling, which is the responsibility of the top management.
Hmm. Okay. Great.
A buy-in by the people, and during implementation, fine. The decision can be a top-down approach, but the implementation has to be grounds up.
Hmm. Definitely. Uh, and that kind of would have obviously reflected in your results going forward. The change of approach that happened. Uh, Taking on from that, I want to come back to you, Vishal, and we heard some of what Mr. Jain said about how they adapted to uh, some of the obvious changes which were there right in front of them, and things started rolling from then on. uh, I want to ask you about some of the future trends, which would be there basis such awareness which has now also come into the ecosystem. What emerging trends in ERP technology do you foresee? And how is Epicor preparing to meet the evolving demands of SMEs?
Yeah. See, the first trend is the most overused word in technology world today is artificial intelligence. I think it's everywhere. Everything has an AI today, but that is one future trend, of course, so to say. And so for us, Epicor is married to Microsoft Azure and Microsoft. So for our customers, whatever Microsoft do on AI comes as part and parcel of the product itself. So be it Copilot or anything, and Microsoft is one of the leaders when this AI changes has to be brought in, right? So that is one comfort customers get with Epicor. Secondly, what Epicor has done is we we have a different approach to AI when it comes to ERP. We have something called as AI infused ERP. So we are not giving a platform where you go and do your data analysis, statistics, run models, and get a result out of it. What we are trying to do is bring the AI within the ERP when decision making insights in the hand of the user itself when they are transacting with the system. That's what we are trying to take as an approach. So we have our own philosophy wherein how a machine interacts with a human, which we call as handshake. Then we have something called as gear. How can we simplify technologies for users? Not everybody, in specifically SME, not everybody can understand statistics as a world or data science as a world. So we have something called as gears, that how we can simplify those terminologies and technologies for the consumer. And then the last part is Spark, which is basically the insights we give when customers or a end user is using the ERP. So we have something called as AI infused AI, ERP, which is a bit a different approach from other vendors, which we are taking. So that is one trend, of course, artificial intelligence. Second one is not most often talked about, but there is a lot of discussion around it. It's called cloud repatriation. So what is happening is during COVID time, a lot of impulse decisions or short-term decisions were taken to move to cloud, or so to called as public cloud. Now people are realizing that when dust is settled, that they have taken a wrong and decision, and there are a lot of U-turn happening from the private cloud itself because the cost, security, AI also have its own challenges when you do it in on a public cloud. Technology leaders will understand. So a lot of U-turn is happening to cloud. So people who have deployed solutions on a public cloud are trying to move to a private cloud or their own application. So that also is a trend. You will see a lot of companies are saving money doing that, and there are a lot of discussion points happening around it. It's a reverse trend in a way, wherein what Epicor does is, I think across all the vendors today, Epicor is the only one who gives freedom of choice to a customer to how they want to deploy their application. Whether they want to go on premises, we support a roadmap. They want to go a single tenant cloud deployment, which is private cloud, we support that. They want to go a public cloud, we support that, and we support jumping between them if their business demands that. So that uniqueness or freedom of choice, I don't think any other ERP vendor today is providing to their customers. So this is how we tackle both the trends, which I personally see will happen in future.
Okay. AI, of course, being the very obvious one, which everybody keeps talking about. But even the reverse cloud, as you mentioned, that is also that is of course something new to come across.
See, if you see overall in last 10 years, why people move cloud to save cost, right?
Hmm.
But if you
Hmm.
see the computing power, drive space, the prices started reducing, and people found that cloud price is going exponential, and the infra cost is going down. You will see a lot of investment coming into cloud data centers today in India itself. So, having your own infra is also a trend today. You don't have
Hmm.
to invest on the hardware, but I'm sure gents here being into IT position will understand what I'm trying to say is that having your own infra is more secured way.
Hmm.
Obviously, budgets can be a challenge, but it is so to call as you will have your own space, your bandwidth, your security. It's living in a bungalow versus living in a high rise building, right? You don't have to share lift, security person, privacy is yours. So those kind of
Hmm.
things. It is all about the experience in my sense, in my point of view. Yeah.
Right. Right. Biren, we've heard some of the future trends, but tell us a bit about how ERP has enhanced operational efficiency in your experience, and any specific areas where you've seen significant improvements.
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier also, so we have developed our customer portal. It's around ERP and all that. So we have used future technologies like AI also there. So customer is very well aware what is their orders, what is their delivery status, their invoice, then their sell return also, what the scheme they have attached with their product. So if there is a cash cash discount or there is a other activity, all will have there. So the payment also, they get a notification, they get a full detail over there, they have their own the balances also with this. Likewise, the vendor portal also we have created like inquiry, the company as and when float inquiry. So vendor portal have that inquiry, and based on their credential they got an inquiry. Suppose I am a vendor within a Gujarat. So if company is dispatching some material within a Gujarat, so I will get an inquiry. And if I am a vendor with this Tamil Nadu state, so if that inquiry based on my factory around in Tamil Nadu, so that vendor will have that inquiry. So that's a AI based. I mean, technology, the future technology, we use it. So that's a customer portal, vendor portal, all will have that operation efficiency, what we call it. And with the manufacturing, the demand forecasting is the main accuracy what we have it. So we have created our stock with this what we call a stock reorder level minimum order. There is a parameter in the material master, and then the safety stock also. Based on that and based on our bill of material, so MRP will run, and then the what you call production will be very effective and very less what we call wastage there. So that demand forecasting and the production we are matching with this. And that is the point. And then the plant maintenance also we have implemented plant maintenance, so predictive, and then the downtime, overall efficiency also we are getting for the each and every equipment what we have deployed in our plant and all that. You said a specific area for the significant improvement. So yeah, so before ERP and all that, and within the ERP, now our management is getting the dashboard on their mobile also, and they are getting the MIS on the daily basis through a email also. So rather, initially they have to talk to each and every department to have their MIS data because they are the silos and all that. Now everything will be on a dashboard. If they want, through a dashboard itself, they will click it out and they will jump into the detailed analysis and all that. So that's why it's significant what we call a improvement. In our past experience also, we have used a future technology, like we have a portal in the cloud. So whenever the customer puts a order, so based on customer's pin code and our warehouse pin code, we are matching that both the pin code with the Google API, and where is the shortest distance and shortest availability of the material, we will dispatch them within a 2 days. So that's a very big achievement of what we call in our improvement and all that. So through a API, we have done this. So the other point is, initially our all the dispatches and the through a one plant to the other plant, warehouse to warehouse, we are using a manual serial number matching. We have a unique serial number 18-digit code and all that. So that will time consuming and all that. So now we have implemented a barcode based solution. So dispatch is very fast, and our production team as well, the logistic team, they are very happy, and they are doing their activity very efficiently also. And as a continuous improvement, what our motto is, so we are now targeting to eliminate that barcode device with the mobile. So at least everyone have a mobile device. So through an Android mobile or a iOS device, they will scan it out material, receiving the material and dispatching material. It's a very agile. So that is where it's a significant improvement what we have this. So again, I am saying with this AI-based application, we are doing Aadhaar-based what we call balance confirmation with the all vendor as well the customer also with their digital signature also. So it's a audit point of view, it's a compliance also. So everything is a significant improvement what we discuss. And one more thing, as Vishal just saying, like people are coming from cloud to on-prem. Uh, I am slightly differ with this. Suppose if you have a mobile and if you don't have, you are not using 100% feature through this mobile, it's a costly affair for you, right? So like a ERP and a cloud also, so people are not using 100% efficiently cloud based solution, and then this ROI and all this, definitely that cloud is a costly, and then the on-prem is again it's a cheaper. But then again you are comparing the on-prem also, you don't have a what we call a right fit people with you. So that is again a problem. You have to hire a what we call IBM or HP, whatever the hardware you have. And again, there is a cost also. So, sorry, Vishal, this is my stick.
No, no, I just want to, re-say this. What I was trying to say is that what what I meant was is that people are moving out of public cloud. It does not mean they are leaving cloud. Right? So public cloud and private cloud is where the difference is. And of course, when you go private, you have an option to on-premise also, is what I was saying. This trend is there wherein people are coming out of public cloud. Why they are coming out of public cloud is that they have to have shared services. Multi-tenant cloud, you understand, right? But that part.
Yeah.
Yes, where they prefer a single tenant, more dedicated space, bandwidth, or security, or they go on-premise. That's what I was trying to phrase. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have everything on a cloud, and it's a mix of a cloud. I mean, a public as well, the private cloud.
Yeah.
So that is what, yeah.
Wonderful. I think a lot of innovative things being done at your end, Viren, including the barcode example and the dashboard, the dashboard aspect also that you mentioned on how it is helping to drive and streamline operations far better now. In fact, the last question I want to come to Mr. Jain on a similar note about innovation only, and how do you envision the role of ERP systems in enhancing operational efficiency and driving innovation at Raju Engineers? And this is specifically since the manufacturing landscape is evolving in that context.
This morning only, I was speaking to our champion of ERP. He was when it was implemented, Utsav Doshi. Part of the family, the second generation. He's currently the joint managing director. So I just asked him, if there is no ERP, what will happen? So he says something very nice, which I want to share with everyone. He says, no ERP, no future. ERP in manufacturing is there to stay. There's no future without, I really like what he said. There's no future. You have to adapt yourself, and it's better late than never. Accept it, and don't go after too much customization. Start following good practices which are happening in the world. So, and from our perspective, we have also seen, like what Bipin was mentioning, the decision making has become very quick. In our system, where I mentioned even earlier, when we have to look at a machine design or looking at what we supplied 20 years back, and someone comes up with a similar machine, normally our salespeople will say, sorry, we can't do it. But now our policy is, you cannot say no. Talk to us before you say no. Because there is a system which tells you your best practices and what you have done in the past. So operational efficiency in terms of decision making, reducing inventory, quicker turnaround time, enough data for understanding how you are running your operations. As Bipin rightly mentioned, at the management level, they have a dashboard, they can drill down. You don't need to talk to people. Otherwise, if you want a simple report of how many machines you have supplied to this customer, if you don't have these systems, it will take you 1 week. And the customer says, I want to negotiate with you right now. I want to know what kind of discounts were given to him in the past. But today, and the other important thing is that we need to accept that people are going and people are coming. So a new person coming in, he has all the information, he has all the data, he has the past history before he takes on a particular job, whether he's in sales or in design or anything else. We have to accept that people are not here to stay. People will go. New people will come in. The cost of retraining new people is also not small. But once you have information, you have systems, you have practices, taking people on board becomes much easier. And people, the new generation which is coming in, they also feel comfortable that fine, here is someone who's running the company who may be 75 years old, but it doesn't matter because the systems are in place which are up to date and corresponding to the contemporary practices. So I think that would be our take from a Raju engineer's perspective, that no ERP, no future.
And I think that is a wonderful point to end this discussion. I think it has summed up everything which you all have said, that no ERP, no future. And I think when we talk about SMEs, who are the backbone, who are considered the backbone of the economy, and a lot of the nation's future hinges on them. I think ERP adoption and implementation is a key aspect, and for decoding ERP strategies and systems for us. Great to have you all here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you. Nice meeting you, Vishal. Thanks. Nice meeting you, Vipin.
Thank you. Bye.